Check futures on a Tuesday morning. Dow down 100, Nasdaq down 66. Still no deal from Congress on the border and foreign aid. Aisha Hosni joins us from Capitol Hill. All right, Aisha, what's the latest? Are we any closer to a deal?
Hey, Stuart. Well, we are not closer to a deal, and that's because Congress is actually out of session for the rest of the week. But they cannot escape this Ukraine issue. They are facing some intense pressure overseas at the Munich Security Conference, but also from Kyiv itself. Some lawmakers are overseas in Ukraine, including Congressman Brian Fitzpatrick. Take a look at this. Just met with President Zelensky, I believe, yesterday. He and a bipartisan group of lawmakers introduced a slimmed-down alternative, Stuart, to the Senate aid package that we saw last week. Now, this version brings back border provisions like remain in Mexico, while also sending $66 billion in defense-only aid to Israel, Ukraine, and Taiwan. It's only about 30 pages long, so it's pretty short, which some lawmakers believe will actually make it more immune to criticism. And supporters of this bill say it is time to act.
Look, especially with the murder of Alexei Navalny, I think everyone is recognizing that we need to act. And so, I've been in touch with many of my colleagues on both sides of the aisle in recent days, and people want to address the challenge of aid, and especially for Israel and Ukraine.
Now, Congressman Lawler also thinks if members forced a vote via suspension in the House, it would have enough votes to pass. But we just spoke with Senator Kaine over in the Senate moments ago, and he said he was not sure that that would get any votes in the Senate, especially because there's no humanitarian aid to Gaza. Now, Homeland Security Chair Mark Green, as well as some moderate Democrats, are working on their own border plans, own border provisions. But again, everyone is waiting to see what House Speaker Mike Johnson does when they all return next week. Stuart.
All right, Aisha, thank you very much indeed. Florida Congressman Byron Donalds returns to the show now. It's great to have you back, Byron. Good to see you. Okay, March 1st.
Good to be back with you.
Yeah, March 1st deadline to fund the government. Can you get money for the border and money for Ukraine as well? Can you satisfy both?
No, I don't think so. And the number one reason why is, first, money's not the issue at the southern border. It's purely policy. Right. Number two, Joe Biden will not reverse course on his policy, which tells House Republicans that there's no money for Joe Biden and the things that he wants to do. I mean, look, Stuart, the number one job of the federal government is to secure the border, to secure this nation, and to secure the American people. That is the first job. And if you're derelict in the first job, why would I give you money for any other jobs? That's a simple premise that applies to all of life. It definitely applies to life on Capitol Hill.
Then are you prepared to see Russia win in Ukraine?
I would actually tell you that Joe Biden's prepared to see Russia win in Ukraine, because this could have been solved months ago. House Republicans have been very clear. We just want to secure our nation. That's a very simple thing to do. He refuses to, but then he comes to us and says, but look at what's happening in Ukraine. Most of our country is saying, what about us? So if Joe Biden is going to be the president of the United States, not just the president of liberal America and radical America, he would have done this job months ago. Don't blame us for wanting to be focused on our country and then want to be helpful to people around the globe. But you got to take care of business at home first before you do anything else.
Congressman, the judge presiding over Trump's New York fraud case ruled he has to pay $355 million plus nearly $100 million in interest. What do you make of that ruling, Congressman?
Listen, it's total BS. This ruling is terrible. It has a chilling effect on business and investment in New York. You know, have men like Kevin O'Leary, Grant Cardone, they're out there saying, look, I don't even want to look at New York anymore. It's a loser state. And that's because the rule of law has to be blind to everybody. You just can't pick and choose who you want to target. There is something called a bill of attainder that is expressly forbidden in the U.S. Constitution. But in New York, it seems to be A-OK. And for Kathy Hochul to come out and say, no need to worry, it's just about Trump and nobody else, that's a flat out lie as well. Because we all know that once you set the precedent, it will be available to other people. People are not going to invest billions and billions of dollars into New York if you have something like this in the air in that state. So I tell New Yorkers, come to Florida, we'll take care of you and treat you better.
There's another 1,200 on the way today, by the way, so what I hear. But do you think that all the legal maneuvering against Trump, including this ruling in New York City, do you think it's turning the tide? Are we at a pivotal point where the vast majority of people in America see that this is unfair and it is the politicization of the judicial system? Are we there yet?
Oh, yeah, I definitely believe we're there. I think we've been there for quite some time now. Look, you can have your opinions of President Trump. Contrary to those presidential scholars who frankly don't know what they're talking about, he's been one of the great presidents this country has ever seen. But you can have your feelings, but in the court of law, your feelings aren't allowed to go into the courtroom. That is the thing that protects all Americans. I don't care about your politics. I don't care about your religion. The courtroom is supposed to protect us all, and we live by the law and nothing else. But when you have stuff like this, it's going to completely backfire against the Democrats. Donald Trump is only becoming more popular, but it's also a signal to these radical states and these radical cities that people just aren't going to deal with you. It's not like it's not like everything is beautiful and it's all roses up there anyway.
You got that right. Congressman Byron Donalds, thanks for coming back on the show. We'll hope to see you again real soon. Thank you, Congressman.
Thank you.